Hello, this is Meg Flanigan, and our topic today is authentic assessment. In this video, we're going to think about why we assess our students and what we as instructors hope to get from that, and more importantly, what do we hope our students will get from being assessed. And then we're going to think about what we mean by authentic assessment and how this particular method can be very beneficial in helping us reach our goals. In the rest of the module, we're going to provide you with some examples from different disciplines, and we're also going to bring forward some considerations or even some challenges that you may face as you are planning an authentic assessment. But to help with that, we will give you some guidelines with steps for planning, as well as some extra resources. But before we begin, I think it might be helpful to take a step back and think about why we assess our students in the first place. Because when we're planning our classes, we have thought very carefully about our learning outcomes, about the types of knowledge and skills that we want our students to have mastered by the end of the semester. And when we provide assignments and assessments that are aligned to our learning outcomes, we're actually helping our students focus on what we have decided are the most important aspects of the course. And then, of course, when we grade these assignments and assessments and we provide feedback, we are actually helping our students identify their areas of strength, but also, importantly, we're helping them identify which particular aspects of their work might need improvement. And ultimately, of course, our assignments are helping us determine whether students have met the benchmarks for our courses. So with all this in mind, the very best type of assessment is the type that not only evaluates student performance, but also that prompts and encourages students to improve their skills and deepen their understanding of the course content. So with all of this in mind, let's think about the utility of the authentic assessment. Because authentic assessments are actually trying to test skills and knowledge in real-world type of situations that are relevant to future disciplinary professions. And because these are real-world situations, these assessments are actually requiring that students apply their theoretical knowledge to the task. And again, because real-world situations are often messy, authentic assessments prompt our students to think about constraints and complexities and bring an element of judgment and sometimes even innovation to the task. And because real-world situations are often complex, authentic assessments require an integration of skills and knowledge in order to address an issue. And finally, unlike more traditional tests or assignments, which are often one-and-done type tasks, authentic assessments are iterative in nature. And when our students are able to receive feedback on their progress, they can then consult resources, they can refine and improve their performance. And of course, as a very added benefit, this type of assignment, where there's no one single right or wrong answer or right or wrong approach, makes it very difficult to cheat. So why else might we consider using authentic assessment? Well, one of the biggest predictors of student completion and success is intrinsic motivation. And a number of factors that actually are promoted when we use authentic assessment can really help promote this sense of motivation. So the first one is competency. So students will persist with difficult tasks when they feel that they have the ability to complete the task, or if they can see that their competencies and abilities are developing and improving as they progress through the course. So all of us like to feel that we have a certain amount of control in how we go about our daily tasks, and students are no different. So by giving students a certain amount of autonomy on how they might approach a particular task, and we are able then to help the students see a direct link between their choices and their actions and the eventual outcome. And then the student can decide whether or how they might want to reevaluate their approach. Of course, when we do this and give students an element of control, it means we are having to give up a certain amount of control. But it helps us to do that if we think about the fact that in giving students more autonomy, we are actually helping to reinforce a larger meta goal that we all have for our students, and that is helping them develop as self-directed learners. And again, like all of us, students and professionals will persist in a course or with a project when they can see the value of completing it. So authentic assessments, because they provide students with explicit understandings of how theory and skills that they're learning in class can be applied and utilised in reality, this helps them understand the value of, and the worth of what they're doing. And finally, something else that really helps us with our own sense of motivation is a sense of relatedness. And by that, I don't just mean a sense of relatedness between the theory of classroom work and the application of knowledge to practice, but also, depending on the type of task, the growing type of relatedness that students might have with various types of social groups, whether that might be among students themselves as they engage in teamwork, or between students and professionals in the field, or even between the student and the larger community. Because when we feel that we are playing a part in something that is important, something that maybe even feels bigger than ourselves, that always stokes our sense of enthusiasm and intrinsic motivation for the task.